Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm guiding you through yin yoga heart openers for shoulder tension. In this practice, we'll release areas of restriction from our chest, our shoulders, our neck, and the upper back. And this is a common area where we hold a lot of stress and tension and even anxiety. So to start this practice today, make sure you have a few props on hand. You can either have a bolster or a pillow. You can work with a yoga block. Grab a yoga strap, and if you don't have one, then take a belt or a scarf from your room and just use that. It's also helpful to have a folded blanket on hand. And once you have the props that you need, we'll come into a comfortable seated position and take a moment to ground and center for our practice today. Closing your eyes and taking a smooth breath in through your nose. Exhaling softly with open mouth. Feeling your sits bones widen on the earth and your shoulders melting away from your ears. And a couple more slow breaths, inhaling through your nose, expanding breath into the abdomen and the chest, exhaling with open mouth. Fully arriving in this moment, in your body, your breath, and your mind. Let's open our eyes, rolling our shoulders up towards our ears, taking a big breath in. And exhaling, relaxing the shoulders back and down. And we'll start by releasing some tension through our neck. You can drop your chin towards your chest and feel the collarbone slightly lift to meet your chin. Taking a breath here. And then rolling your right ear to your right shoulder. Relaxing through the left shoulder. And if it feels okay for your neck, we're going to take a full neck roll, drawing the chin up towards the sky. Throat opens up. And bringing the left ear to the left shoulder, and chin comes back down towards the chest. And we'll take a breath and move into the opposite side. Left ear to left shoulder. Relaxing the right shoulder away from the ear, and then taking a full neck roll, and drawing a big circle with your chin as you look up, coming all the way around and back to center. And we'll take one more on each side. Let's move to the right again, working with your breath. Moving slowly and mindfully. Coming back through center and then all the way to the left. And dropping your chin to your chest. Taking one more breath. Inhaling, head floats up over the pelvis, and again, let's bring the shoulders up to our ears. Take a big breath. And exhale, relax the shoulders all the way down. And then we'll come onto hands and knees. If you need support for your knees, add a folded blanket or a pillow underneath your knees. We're coming into heart melting pose. So we're drawing our palms forward to the top of the mat, but I like to prop through my forehead as I come into this position. So you can take a folded blanket or a pillow as well underneath your forehead. So you can rest that a few inches in front of you and then bring your palms forward. Relax your forehead down to your support. Make sure that you have space to breathe. Widen through the palms and then soften the bones of the arms. Finding some traction through the tissue in the upper arms, the armpits and shoulders. Resting the full weight of your forehead to the ground. and smoothing out the space between your eyebrows. The back of your heart melting towards the earth, letting the heart hang, and gently tilting your tailbone to the sky. You can keep your toes tucked, or you can untuck your toes. And we'll hold here for about a minute, breathing deeply into the side of the rib cage, feeling the breath expand and widen through the rib cage. With each exhalation, heart melts towards the earth. And through the arm lines, we have little pathways of energy that connect to our heart and our lungs. And as we gently open up the fascial lines through the arms, you might notice a sensation of warmth, movement, circulation. Releasing any anxiety or stress held in the upper body. And we'll take a little bit more time here, a few more breaths. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, as an option, you can walk your palms towards each other, coming into prayer mudra. As your palms come to touch, you'll bend your elbows and send your fingertips first upwards towards the sky, and then rest the wrists at the base of the skull. So now your fingertips point towards your tailbone, and deepening the traction from the armpits to the elbows. And we'll take our last 3 big breaths. Relax your hands again back to the floor. And very mindfully, let's come into Sphinx Pose, bending at your elbows and sliding down to your pelvis. You can rest your rib cage onto your folded blanket if you'd like, and rest the elbows in front of the blanket. If you'd like to take that prop away, you can also slide that away. Heart melting through the shoulders, rib cage resting on the ground or your prop. Gently drawing your ears in line with your shoulders. And feeling your breath expanding into the collarbone. Feeling the width of the heart from shoulder to shoulder. And if after a few moments you'd like to deepen, You can take your palms open to the corners of your mat. Lengthen the arm bones, coming to seal pose. This is an option. You can always stay in the first position. Letting the weight of the body rest down into the palms and wrists. And feeling the compression moving towards your mid-back. Fully relaxing through your pelvis and your glutes, leg bones heavy, and feet relaxed. Taking a few more deep breaths. First, relaxing back to your forearms, taking a breath. And then we'll widen our elbows open. If you have a prop underneath the rib cage, now you can slide it forward underneath your forehead. Or stacking your palms and resting your forehead onto the palms. And taking a moment to rest. Feeling into the circulation of prana along the spine. Deep breaths into your back body. And then extend your right hand out to the side of the room so that your wrist is in line with your shoulder. Take your left palm underneath your shoulder and then roll all the way over to the right side of your body. I like to keep a prop underneath my cheek. You can take that prop away if it feels too intense, but I actually find this prop helps to alleviate any pressure on the neck. And then once you roll onto the side body, take your top leg, bend your top leg, and place the sole of the foot behind the body, your knees pointing to the sky. And then you can decide how much compression and pressure you want to rest down into the shoulder joint. So this should feel like a nice massage for the shoulder. You don't want to feel any pinching through the shoulder. That's a sign that you're too deep. Resting here and breathing. Body melting to the earth. As an option, you can take your left palm off of the floor, reach it up to the sky, bend at your elbow, and slide the palm behind the body across the sacrum towards the opposite hip. That will bring quite a bit more pressure to your shoulder joint, so make sure that feels okay for your body. Taking another 4 full and deep breaths. And then relax your left palm to the floor rolling back to the belly, stacking your palms, and taking resting breath. And now we'll move to the opposite side, extending your left palm to the side of the room, wrist in line with shoulder, right palm underneath the shoulder, and gently rolling to the left side of the body. Bending the top knee, placing the sole of the foot to the floor, and again adding that extra cushion underneath your cheek so your neck feels supported. Body becoming heavy, dropping into the shoulder and massaging the deeper tissue through the shoulder joint and the rotator cuff. And as you feel a sense of melting, you might want to go deeper, reaching the right palm up, bending at the elbow, and resting the palm lightly towards the sacrum. And we'll find 4 more full breaths. You can unbind your arm, rolling onto your belly, pausing for a moment. Big breath into the back body and exhaling through open mouth. Let's take our palms under our shoulders and we'll lift to all fours. As you come into all fours, widen your knees apart and we'll fold forward into child's pose, resting the rib cage on top of the thighs, stretching the palms forward for a breath. And then exhale, deep bend through your elbows, bringing the elbows in line with your shoulders. Expanding breath from the lower back, just like a wave up through the rib cage and to the heart. Feeling the pulsation of prana or life force energy moving towards the heart. Let's place our palms under our shoulders. We're lifting our hips up, shifting the heart forward, tucking our toes, and we're coming to a standing forward fold. Feet hip distance apart, maybe a little wider. Soft bend through your knees. And as you come into your standing forward fold, you can add a big bolster or some props for your palms. Widen through the feet and let the whole body hang here. Taking some time to soften through the shoulders, neck, and jaw. Full weight of the head hanging to the earth. Steady breath. And as we're moving from posture to posture, allowing your practice to become a steady meditation. Coming into stillness and breath. Big breath into the chest. Exhale with open mouth. And you might stay here, body hanging into gravity, decompressing the spine. You can also take your hands to your sacrum. And as you bring your hands to your sacrum, either interlace your fingers together or take a hold of your strap or your belt or your scarf and take some support so you can keep the palms about shoulder distance apart if you're working with a strap. And then see if you can take the palms away from the sacrum towards the sky. Again, staying very passive and relaxed through the heart, shoulders, neck, and jaw. Breathing. If you feel dizzy in this inversion, then definitely come out early. Come into child's pose and breathe. In this practice, we're working towards internal balance, coming back into balance. Maybe your palms start to draw towards the front of the room or the top of your mat. Three big breaths. Stay relaxed through your shoulders as you bend the elbows and bring your palms back to your sacrum. Slide your hands down the backs of your legs. Fingertips dangling back to the floor. And very slowly and mindfully rocking your head from side to side. Very slowly. And if it feels good, you can make sideways figure eights with your head. Releasing tension from your neck. And then letting the head drop again towards the earth. Slide your bolster off to the side. And we'll come down to hands and knees, coming back to tabletop position. And as you come to hands and knees, let's just take a few gentle cat-cows. Again, if you feel dizzy, coming into child's pose. Let's inhale here, gently tilting the tailbone, heart draws forward. And then exhale, rounding back. And a couple more times, inhaling. Big breath into the chest. And exhaling, rounding back. And one more time, big breath in. Exhaling, rounding back. And we'll come back to tabletop position. This time, untuck your toes. And we're working with thread the needle pose. And I'm going to offer you a few modifications for this posture. We'll start on the right side. So we'll take our right hand and we're threading the right hand behind the left wrist, drawing down to the right shoulder and turning your cheek to the floor. So you're looking towards your fingertips. And if you come into this posture and it feels just a little too intense today, then sink back into child's pose and take this posture from child's pose. If you're working from hands and knees, then another option is to add a support underneath your cheek. And again, this is support for your neck so that you don't overstretch through the neck. Relaxing into the right shoulder. Finding your breath. As you settle into this shape, you can reach your left palm up to the sky and take your palm to your sacrum and very gently press into the sacrum and feeling how that slight pressure opens the right shoulder joint just a little bit more. And then at any time you can relax the top palm and stretch your left palm forward to the top of your mat, just like we did in heart melting pose. And if this is too intense, of course, just keep the left palm rooted to the ground like we did in the first stage of the posture. Four big breaths. Placing your left palm back to the floor, unwinding the arm. And I find that posture quite powerful. So I like to take a little bit of rest between sides. So we'll open our knees again. And this time as we come into child's pose, if you have a bolster or a pillow, you can slide that slightly between the legs and rest your heart onto your prop. Turn your cheek to the opposite side. So you're going to turn and look towards the right. Whole body heavy onto the prop, heart supported, and the upper back wide. Take your arms and draw them alongside the body with your palms facing up, giving your shoulders even more rest. finding one last breath. Turning your head back to center and setting your prop off to the side. We'll come back to all fours. And this time we'll work into the left shoulder. So we'll take the left palm, threading that behind the wrist, and lower down to the shoulder. Again, you can add your propping underneath your cheek. Modifying this posture by coming into child's pose and threading the arm there. And as you settle into this shape, you can reach your right palm up, place your palm to your sacrum, and apply just a little bit of pressure, dropping down deeper into the left shoulder. And after a few breaths, you can either place your palm back to the ground or you're stretching the right palm to the top of the mat and relaxing. Finding a few more breaths. Rooting your palm back to the ground, come back to all fours, round your spine, drop your head to the earth. And then let's widen our knees, adding our bolster between the thighs and resting the heart onto the bolster, turning your head towards the left. Palms alongside the body. One more big breath, and then let's roll up, setting props off to the side. And we'll come down to our sits bones, swinging your legs in front of you and shaking out your legs. So now that we've opened up more through the arms and shoulders, we can go a little bit deeper into our unwinding. So take some support behind the sits bones. Folded blanket or a yoga block. And we'll keep our left leg out in front of us. Let's bend our right knee and place the foot across to the outer left thigh. And then we're taking our top knee and we're dropping it down, stacking it on top of the knee. And then bending your bottom knee and drawing the left heel towards the right hip. So now you have knee stacked on top of knee, right knee is on top. And you can add another blanket or some support underneath the knee, and that just gives some extra cushioning and propping. If this feels too intense and you'd like to modify, then take your right shin bone in front of the left, and you'll be in a more open posture, but this will still work into the hip and the lower back, so you can take this option as well. And then we're going to work into our arms. So we're going to take a hold of our belt or a strap, and we'll take that in our right hand. We'll reach the right palm up, taking a big breath and stretching through the right side body. And then bend your right elbow, resting your wrist just below the base of the skull. Let the skull bone draw back slightly into your palm. Stay rooted as you extend up through the crown of your head. Back of your neck is long. And then take your right hand, reach it up, and softly place the palm to the top of the elbow, applying just a little bit more pressure through the right arm. Breathing here. Heart stays lifted. And then take your top palm, your left hand, and now we're stretching it out to the side. Thumb is facing the sky. Bending at the elbow, sliding the back of the palm all the way up your back and taking a hold of your strap. And then you can walk your fingertips towards each other on the strap. If you're a little bit more open through the shoulders, you can bind your arms, taking a hold of the fingertips, but not forcing, just feeling into that first area of restriction through the fascial line that's moving up through the right side of the body into the armpit, and from the armpit to the elbow, and also feeling across the collarbone and into the shoulder on the left side. Closing your eyes. Your breath is key to unwinding not only the physical tension through the upper body, but also the emotional tension, stress and anxiety that constricts our breathing. Three big breaths. Relax your left arm first, and then relax your right arm. Taking the strap by your side, taking a breath, big breath in, and now we're folding forward over our thighs, and you can lengthen the abdomen to the top of the thighs. melting forward. Lots of support underneath your head. Shoulders relaxed. Unwinding a little bit deeper through the hips and the lower back, which can create lines of tension up into the shoulders and the neck. Can you rest your forehead onto your support and bringing your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, your third eye, quieting your mind. Completely surrendering to this posture. Upper body heavy, and if it feels okay for your neck, you can try sliding away the prop from under your forehead. And again, make sure this is okay for your body. Fingertips resting by your hips. Rolling up, your head is lifting last. So be very mindful of your neck as you lift up. And as you come up, take a moment and pause. Walk your fingertips behind you, lean back and reach the top leg up and over, and then the bottom leg. Rocking your knees from side to side. We'll release our back a little bit by placing our feet to the floor, palms behind you. Your fingertips can point towards your hips. Soft bend in your elbows. Lifting your hips up and dropping your hips down. And a couple more times. Big breath in. And exhaling. And we'll move to the opposite side. Let's start by stretching both legs out in front of us. Just taking a moment to ground and breathe. We'll bend our left knee and step your foot across to the outer thigh. And then placing that knee on top of the bottom knee. Bending your right knee, drawing the heel towards the hip and readjusting, sits bones even on your prop. Adding any extra cushioning under the knee or taking your modification and coming into Sukhasana with the left shin bone in front of the right, a more open posture. And then taking your strap in your left hand. And you can reach the palm up, first stretching through the left side of the body, bending at the elbow, wrist to the base of the skull. Reaching your right palm to the top of the elbow, and just adding a little bit of pressure. Feather light. Heart is broad, back of the neck long, jaw relaxed. As you're ready, reaching the right arm open, thumb to the sky, bending at the elbow, and sliding your hand up the back body, reaching for your strap. Closing your eyes. Relaxing your jaw by parting your teeth and smoothing out the space between the eyebrows. And can you fill up the chest with your breath? Your breath reaching the upper lobes of your lungs. Breathing out any emotional stress that you're holding through the upper body, shoulders. And allowing the rivers of energy to flow to the heart and the lungs. And the heart is the seat of our prana, of our life force energy, the deepest tissue layer of the body. A few more big breaths. Relax your right hand. And then relax your left, releasing your strap and setting it off to the side. Taking a big breath, extending up through the heart and folding forward, abdomen resting on top of your thighs, forehead fully supported. Stacking as many props as you need. You might not be folding forward very far, and that's okay. You're just coming to a place where you're feeling some restriction through the fascia, holding here and breathing. That's all you need to do. And you know you're in the right spot when your body can hang and drop into gravity. Your breath naturally opens up and your mind begins to quiet. Scanning the arm lines for any unconscious holding or tension through the shoulder caps, upper arm bones, the elbows, forearms and wrists, the palm of your hand, back of your hand, fingertips.
And if you're starting to feel the tissue through the sacrum and the lower back unwinding, then you might take a prop away and let your head hang, feeling into the tissue at the base of your skull. A few more breaths. Rolling up, breath by breath. Pausing as you lift, closing your eyes. Leaning back, reaching the top leg up and open, and then the bottom leg, rocking your knees from side to side. And we'll finish up our practice in a supported back bend. So I'm going to show you a couple of options to open through the upper back and the heart. So the first option is to work with your purple yoga block, or your yoga block, it might not be purple, and bring it to the lowest height setting. Bring that back behind you. Make sure you have some support for your head. So I recommend folding a blanket either in half or 3 times so the base of your skull is supported. And then we'll take our prop right at the shoulder blades. So you want to feel supported right at the space between the shoulders and into the shoulder blades. If the prop is too low down, it will restrict your breathing. So just be mindful of that. Finding that sweet spot. Your head, again, should be supported enough that your chin's not drawing way up to the sky. You want your chin at a neutral position. And this is quite a deep opening through the upper back. So this might feel really good today, or it might feel too intense. And if it feels too intense, you can roll over to one side, coming all the way up. And we'll switch up that prop for either a pillow or your bolster. And you'll take the bolster vertically or horizontally, and then bring it a little bit lower down so it's just above the curve of the lower back, and then resting here. And this will be a little bit softer, a little bit more gentle. Finding support for your head, opening up through the arms and winging the knees open to the side of the room, sliding the soles of your feet together and relaxing here. Breathing into the heart. Perhaps sliding your arms behind you, above you, and taking a hold of opposite elbows. If it feels too intense, you can keep your palms wide alongside the body. Resting through the base of your skull. And you can switch, holding now opposite elbows on the other side. And then again, relaxing the arms, keeping them wide and open, palms to the sky. Four expansive breaths. As you inhale, come right to the top of your breath. Hold your breath. Let the prana build at the heart center. And exhale with open mouth. One more time, big full breath in. Holding your breath and exhaling. Help your knees back in towards each other. Roll off to one side. And then slide your prop off to the side, preparing for your final relaxation for Shavasana. We'll come onto our back and we'll interlace our fingers together, sliding our palms to the base of the skull. You're cupping the skull bone in the palms, and then send your elbows to the sky, curling your knees and your elbows in towards each other. Your head hanging back into the palms. Full weight of the head in the palms. And very, very gently and slowly draw your chin to your right shoulder. Very subtle and small movement. And then all the way back to center. Head is heavy. Chin to the left shoulder, very small micro movement. And then all the way back to center. And as you set your head back to the ground, take your thumbs and massage the space right at the base of the skull where the vertebrae of the neck meets the skull bone. And draw your thumbs along the skull bone all the way up to behind your ears. And then relax your hands, stretch your legs open. And as you come into Shavasana, take a moment and clench up through the palms and the glutes, tensing through your body. And then exhale and relax. Softening the space between your eyebrows. Feeling the smoothness of the eyelids, cheeks. Parting your teeth, relaxing your jaw. Shoulder blades wide. Hips heavy. Body open to the passage of fluids through the tissue. And you can stay longer in your final relaxation. Let yourself drift into that space between waking and sleeping. And this is the healing zone. where you can fully integrate your practice and come back into balance. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you again for more yoga and meditation practices. And having a wonderful day. Namaste.